Hey everybody, this is the second chapter of a three-part series about dynamic programming. In the previous chapter, we discussed recursion, the definition of dynamic programming, memoization, and looping. You need to know these concepts to understand this video, so if you need a refresher, check the video in the corner right now. In this video, we will take a look at the Knapsack problem, a very famous problem in computer science that dynamic programming gives an elegant solution for. A knapsack is a bag, and in this problem, you have a maximum capacity for it. Let's say 5. You also have a list of items that you can possibly take in the knapsack. Let's give them the original names, item 1, item 2, and so on, up to the nth item. Each item has a volume, which is how much space it takes, and a value, which represents how important it is to take it. Every item you put inside the knapsack reduces its capacity by the volume of that item, and you don't have enough capacity to take everything, so you have to choose carefully. Specifically, the knapsack problem is: what is the subset of items that will give you the maximum value without their combined volume getting higher than the knapsack's capacity? For a problem to be appropriate for the use of dynamic programming, it must meet two conditions. 1. It must be possible to solve it by dividing it into subproblems of the same type. In different words, it must be possible to solve it with recursion. And 2. The subproblems must have some overlap between them that we can take advantage of. Let's start with the first condition and show that this problem indeed can be solved with recursion. The strategy that we are going to use is to look at one item each time and decide if the optimal subset of items includes it or not. Let's start by defining two functions for the sake of the explanation. C of a group of items will get us the capacity left in the knapsack after packing those items in the knapsack. And a function called V, which will take a bunch of items and some capacity, and will return the best subset of items whose weight doesn't exceed its capacity. Let's start with the subproblem of deciding whether to take the first item or not. We can think about it as taking the option with maximum value among two options. Taking the first item and the best value subset of items 2 up to n, but with capacity that was reduced by the volume of item 1. The other option is not taking item 1 and get the optimal value of items 2 up to n only, but now with full knapsack capacity, which means we will be able to take more of them. The recursive nature of this problem stems from the value functions, because they are actually the knapsack problem all over again, only with one less item and possibly different capacity. To get the best value of items 2 up to n with reduced capacity, we again need to choose the maximum value option out of 2. Taking the second item and the best subset of items 3 up to n, but with even more reduced capacity, or not taking it and get the best value of items 3 up to n, but with a knapsack that only includes item 1. In this way, each option is subdivided to two options and the recursion tree grows. Let's see how to implement this recursion in code, so later we can convert it to dynamic programming. First, we define our function. This function takes 5 arguments. A tuple that contains the value of each item, a tuple that contains the weight of each item, the capacity of the knapsack, an empty list that will be populated with the best subset of items, and the names of the items. The first thing we have to do is to take our list of items and copy it into 2 different variables. This is because of the way lists behave in Python. If we define a list and then associate it with 2 new variables, all variables will actually reference the same list object under the hood. So a change to one of them will affect the value of all of the others. Each function in the recursion tree will have to pass the list of items it already got to 2 sub-functions that will solve different subproblems and might modify it. So in order for those modifications not to affect the list of items in the other sub-function, we have to separate them. Now, we compute the reduced capacity that we will get if we do decide to take the first item in the list. After that, we can consider the first base case, having only a single item on the list. If the reduced capacity is negative, we don't have enough space for this item, so we return 0 value and an unmodified list of items. Otherwise, we append this item to the list of items and return its value and the list of items that now contains it. Now that we know we have at least 2 items in the list and we will need a recursion, we solve the subproblem of the best subset of items, but without the first item in the input list. This leads us to the case where there is no place left in the knapsack for the item in question, which is different from the first base case because there is more than a single item in the list. If this is the case, we have no choice but returning the best value we can get without this item. But if we do have space for it, we need to check what's the best value we can get with it. So we need another recursion, but now with the reduced capacity. Since we take this item, we need to add its value to the best value of the other items, and add this item to the list of items we take. All that is left to do is to compare the best value we can get with and without the item in question, and record it along with the list of items that yields it. We return the results and we are done. Now, since each problem is divided into 2 subproblems, which corresponds to deciding whether to take each item or not for each of the items, the complexity of the algorithm is 2 to the power of n, which is exponential and quite bad. But with dynamic programming, we can use any subproblem overlap to make it better. So, is there any subproblem overlap? Well, there might be. We might need to compute the problem of the best value of solving the knapsack problem of 7 items. Taking the first item breaks down to subproblems as we have seen before, as well as the subproblem of not taking it. Let's break subproblems a little bit more in the same way. I won't show the whole tree to save time. Now, let's say that, for example, the capacity of a knapsack with items 1 and 3 is 5, and let's say that the combined weights of items 2 and 3 is also 5. It means we have to solve 2 subproblems with the same items to consider, items 4 up to 7, and same knapsack capacity, 5. Thus, they are actually the same subproblem, and we can use dynamic programming to not solve it twice. Of course, we are not guaranteed that this will happen, but the more it does, the less computation we have to carry. With our new approach, we are guaranteed that in the worst case, we will have to solve the knapsack problem only once for each combination of item out of the possible n, and knapsack capacity from 0 to that of an empty knapsack, which gives us our new worst case scenario complexity. Let's see how to implement this in code. I will just show the code snippets where there is a change from the non-dynamic programming code from before. First, our function now takes in a memo dictionary as well, and it also returns it every time it has a return command. We define a subproblem as a tuple that includes the items to consider and the capacity that remained, here without reduction, since it is the subproblem where we don't take the item in question. If the subproblem is already in the memo dictionary, which means we already solved it, we just need to take the answer from it. But if it isn't, we solve it and store the result in the memo dictionary for future use. The same exact logic applies to the case of taking the first item. With these changes, we now have our dynamic programming function completed, which brings the second part of the dynamic programming series to an end. Feel free to subscribe to get notified when part 3 is released. In part 3, we will discuss the traveling salesman problem. Thank you for watching and see you soon.